Okay, the highlights from today at GreatStockPicks.com from our live trading chat room. I already made a video showing you how I like to play bounce plays about this certain trade here, OXBT, but I'll go over it because I'm doing a highlight video here. 4 days down in a row and really just a bunch of red days after this big move. The ingredients here are pretty important. You've got a stock that made a huge move, right? And then now several red days down in a row. And then I want to look to do one of two things. Either have this base today, in a narrow range and then break out in the afternoon. Or the other way I play these is if they gap down, I like to buy a break of the early high if I get a narrow range. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me switch to 5-minute candles here because this one did gap down. Okay, so it looked like this. This is the opening 5-minute candle. We had what we're talking about. We had a narrow range. The next candle opened and pushed down to 5, but then was right back up. So I called this I jumped on the mic, called this on a break of the high of the day, right at 520 with a stop at 5. You can see the next candle pushed down and then went up through the high of the day. That's a great scenario for a possible nice run, and look what it did the rest of the day. And the market sold off at the end of the day, but from 520, this thing went to 715. I don't even know what percentage gain that was, but it was monstrous. $1.95 a share on 20 cents risk, and you can see we were never underwater from the moment of the call. A couple other calls from the room today. Stephen B., one of our all-stars, called ATI, simply right over this little narrow candle here. Bottom feeding play, call it 33.43. Stop 9 cents below. Never got it. Just picked the bottom clean there and went all the way up to 34 for a very nice move. Zozo, one of our all-stars, called UNIS, right there at the top of that little green candle as it was breaking out of this little base here. And look at that. It was off to the races. Just a great call by Zozo. Went up 73 cents a share, which is a huge move on a $3 stock. From 351 to 424. Stop was 15 cents below, but you can see we were never underwater in that one either. And I also called ADT. I want to share the reasoning here with you. First of all, on the daily chart, ADT over 44 was a breakout, but it had earnings and gapped up all the way to 45. So I was watching this when it came down below the low of the day. I was watching it for a turn on smaller time frame candles. These are 5-minute candles. And I just couldn't find an entry. It wasn't given a setup. Then when it got down to this blue line, which is the 8-period moving average, I started watching for a play, and guess what? It just kept going down. It didn't give me an entry. And then when it gave this big push right here, I literally used 1-minute candles, and I'll show you why. Now there, I've switched to 1-minute candles. Now at some point here, as I'm watching this thing fall, of course, I feel like a fool devoting this much time to it, right? But it didn't give me a trigger, so I'm just watching it. And now we get what we call shape change here. And the thinking here is, yeah, shorts that shorted this up here are doing great, right? They're making a killing. You see the shape here? And then you can see this, what we call a potential final push down. You see the increasing volume there, and you see the push down, basically almost a gap fill. But again, I was no longer really bullish on ADT because it had retraced the entire gap. But at the same time, you've got to remember, sellers are doing great, right? And at some point, they're going to start to cover, especially when you get down here where the gap is full. Their profit potential for more profit is dwindling. And so this is an area where you're going to get a shift in momentum, or you could, and the sellers or the shorters start to cover, and then bottom feeders like myself on this one step in. So I literally called this based on 1-minute candles. And it gave this fairly narrow green one right here. So 43.36 with a 43.05 stop. And it took a while to get going, but it went all the way. It doesn't look like much, but it went all the way up over 44. And because this was such a big move, it's what makes this not look like a big move. But it was a pretty nice move and fairly easy money. It just took patience waiting for the entry. All right, I'm not going to bore you with anything else. We had a really nice day, and we'll see you tomorrow. I might put out a video tonight showing a couple setups because I got a couple bounce plays on watch that I really like, but we'll see if I can get to that. All right, talk to you later.